join the team. I want to see what you can do. But a big hint is this. Can your news piece make the news? Does it get people's attention? Does it educate people? Does it open minds? That's more important than being beautiful or speaking with perfect eloquence as an orator. All of that is important. But we're looking for people that have that magic spark, that fire of liberty in their heart, because I want you to join our team. I want to give you a launch pad so you can really take off and engage the globalist. And if this works, we'll have contests all the time, and we'll continue to build this operation. I'm involved in a talent search, looking for people who have the fires of liberty burning in their hearts and their minds. You've got until April 30th to complete your news report, and then we'll announce the winners 1 week later. Are you going to join the InfoWar? Do you have what it takes? It's up to you. All serious entries will be posted on INFOWARS.com. So everybody wins. You're getting the message of liberty out, and that's what really matters. But in the final equation, it's not about showing Alex Jones what you got. It's about showing the world and the globalist that no army can stop an idea whose time has come. Join me in the InfoWar. So you say you want to fight the InfoWar. You say you want to go head up against the New World Order. You can do a better job than Alex Jones? I know you can. And here's your chance to prove your mettle. I really enjoy it when the globalists try to poison us, and, well, we resist them via a free market system. Hello, my fellow Info Warriors. Alex Jones here, introducing you to the ProPure family of gravity-fed filters. Now, you know that the globalists are filling our water with radioactive isotopes, fluoride, lead, mercury, arsenic. And one of the few systems that can efficiently and economically remove or reduce down to non-detectable levels these poisons are gravity-fed filters. And ProPure is the top of the line. Their filters are impregnated with silver, a natural antibiotic. On top of that, they're bigger, so they filter faster. You don't have to prime these the first time you use them. It's amazing. Go to InfoWars.com and click on the shopping cart link to see the entire family of these babies. Now, the fluoride they add to our water is so tiny that most filters can't cut it out. But ProPure has their system that will, again, reduce it to non-detectable levels, almost get all of it out of there. That's also available. And if you look at the different systems they offer, the ProPure Big Brush Finish is on a stand, so it's easier on a table or at your restaurant or wherever you have it to go up with a glass or a mug and fill it up. Then there's this big baby right here, the ProPure King large version. Got a lot of different options that come with it. Also, they have the ProPure Big, probably one of the best values out there. And of course, it's burnished stainless steel. And then what I use on my RV, something that's great for your hunting cabin or the back porch, is the ProPure Traveler. Small and portable, but packs a huge punch, cleans out all that garbage. They also have a glass sight spigot, so you don't have to take the top off and look in the bottom area to see how much water. You can see how fast it's filtering with this optional system. The globalists obviously are hitting us through our water. It's time to take control of our lives. It's time to not give our children and families these poisons, and these systems cut it down to non-detectable levels across the board. ProPure is the name. I only promote what I believe in. And I use ProPure in my home and my office. And I recommend that you check out the information on ProPure at InfoWars.com. We already have the lowest price at InfoWars.com on the ProPure gravity filter system. But when you add in the 10% off when InfoWarriors use the product code WATER at InfoWars.com, nobody can top it. So again, it's a win-win-win. Stop drinking the poison water, checkmate the globalists when it comes to your health, and support InfoWars.com and the work we're doing here. You know, many revolutionaries rob banks and things and kidnap people for funds. We promote in the free market the products we use that are about preparedness. That's how we fund this revolution against the New World Order in our move to restore our constitutional republic and a spirit of 1776 worldwide. Check it out at InfoWars.com. ProPure, top of the line, #1, most powerful and effective and economical gravity-fed water system in the world. ProPure, available, discounted at InfoWars.com. Don't forget product code WATER to save 10%. It's the latest generation, years in development. ProPure is the name.
And we are back. It's InfoWars Nightly News. I'm your host, Rob Dew. I'm sitting in doing a little bit of the interview section for Aaron while he's out writing more articles. And the guy never stops working. He's a force to be reckoned with out there, the Blitzschneck. So earlier in the broadcast, he covered the article that Patrick Henningsen wrote, More Furious, U.S. Soldiers Trafficking Arms, Drugs to DEA Agents Posing as Los Zetas. Very disturbing article. I read it and I heard him talk to Alex on Thursday, but I thought it was important enough to bring back up again just to keep putting it out there in the blogosphere and seeing if we can make heads or tails of this. Patrick, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, nice to be with you, Rob.
So, what tipped you off to this article here, More Furious? How did you, what caught your attention on it, and what made you write this article?
The original tip I got was from the Minuteman PAC, which is a big border security, immigration issue website and political action group. And they had the initial blog, and there was a link to the official complaint, which was at the Department of Justice, South Texas District Court. So I clicked on that, and there was the story. One of the most fascinating and bizarre stories I've seen in recent years regarding trafficking over the border and also drugs, Mexican drug cartels, U.S. Army soldiers, active duty, Afghanistan. It all comes together in this story. It reads like a very dark John Grisham novel.
Yeah, and to me, it's like, where are the, quote, bad guys? You know, we've got U.S. Army, there are troops, we have to support them, and then we have DEA agents that are supposed to be fighting this war on drugs. There's no bad guys here. It's like we're creating our own problem.
Yeah, one hand, clearly, as Alex Jones put it on air Friday morning, we spoke about this story. Clearly, one hand doesn't know what the other hand is doing in this. And, you know, it's very difficult in the world of drugs and the world of drug enforcement. You have a thing called the informant. So there are literally hundreds or thousands of FBI informants, DEA informants, and people who are on the books of the federal agencies who are supposedly, some are undercover and others are actually members of Los Zetas drug cartel or members of gangs. And they are on the books giving information. So when a deal is going down, and if there are federal agents investigating, in some cases they don't know the identity of all these informants. And obviously, when the deal goes down, then they will go and they'll then say, my handler is such and such at the FBI's head offices or the head of the DEA, because their identities need to be confidential, apparently for their security, because there are moles and rats within the FBI and within the DEA and within the gangs themselves.
Yeah, it says here in your article, this is, I guess, a AP Huffington Post, Kevin Corley was discharged from the Army on March 13th, according to Army Human Resources. Your article comes out April 5th, so he didn't waste any time reaching out to his network and coming up with, what, 500 pounds of marijuana? I mean, what are the details of this particular sting?
Well, basically, Corley was the head of security for the gang. In this gang, there's also other members of his family, other Corleys, who are based out of South Carolina. Now, Corley was operating out of Texas. I'm not sure the details of where he got his 100-pound, half-a-ton consignment of marijuana. And also, what's also interesting is after he managed to bring the half-a-ton of marijuana to South Carolina, and after the DEA apprehended this truck full of marijuana and then let the Corley gang drive on while the truck was stopped, the Corleys were back doing business only days or weeks later. And their business included offering wet work, which is murder for hire, contract services, and also Kevin Corley, interestingly enough, was a drill sergeant for the 4th Brigade and the 4th Infantry based at Fort Carson in Colorado. And they were deployed on multiple tours in Afghanistan. And you also find the 4th, it's an elite combat strike force based out of Fort Carson. He offered to train 40 Los Zetas, U.S. military training standard, using U.S. military manuals with U.S. military weapons, which he was happy to provide to them, so long as they would get rid of the serial numbers on the guns, for instance, so they couldn't be traced back to him or back to his stockade at Fort Carson, quite possibly. So there are all kind of things going on here, and it's very difficult to tell who was who. For all we know, Kevin Corley himself could be an informant, and maybe sometimes informants have to do hard time after they're convicted in order to keep their cover and to protect the identities of these other informants in the DEA or the FBI. But in the end, Rob, it boils down to an extremely dirty business going on, and a lot of people using the cover of the law enforcement agencies in order to traffic narcotics or to traffic prostitutes or to do all sort of manner of illegal activities like this.
Yeah, which brings us to another article that we covered earlier. War on drugs has failed, say Latin American leaders. Watershed Summit will admit that prohibition has failed and call for more nuanced and liberalized tactics. So that way you don't have your armed forces or your federal agencies out there you know, playing possum with each other as to who's doing what. I mean, it's crazy. I think it's Perez Molina writes, the prohibition paradigm that inspires mainstream global drug policy is based on a false premise. The global drug markets can be eradicated. They can't be eradicated. Drugs are always going to be here. They've always been here. They're never going to go away. I mean, as long as there's earth, people are going to be planting pot. They're going to be planting cocoa. That's just the way it is, and you're never going to stop it. And you could either tax it and make money off of it, which will take money away from the banks who launder it, as George Carlin said, and many others, or you could keep this fake war going and put people in prisons and create another cottage industry, which is this prison industrial complex. So what do you think on that? That the Latin American leaders are finally coming together against the war on drugs? They're saying